So in our first March 2019 newsletter, so this is first March 2019 Marcellus's Consistent Compounders newsletter, we had given a simple analysis. So let's say you are Mr. Gifted and I am Mr. Mortal, right? Let's say we are two individuals, we are investing our hard-earned money, whatever salary we get, let's say 100 rupees is our annual, and we decide to invest that 100 rupees into the stock market, right? Let's say both of us choose Asian Paints or HDFC Bank or some other great quality fundamental franchise, right? Now, what if you are Mr. Gifted and you have the ability to time the 52-week low for every calendar year over the last 40 years, right? And I am Mr. Mortal and I have zero ability to time market volatility, and hence what I do is I just blindly invest on the 1st of January, which is the day after I receive my, let's say, calendar year bonus. I invest my 100 rupees on the 1st of January into the same stock regardless of the share price, right? If I were to do this exercise consistently, and if you were to do the same exercise at 52-week low every year consistently on a stock like Asian Paints, a 5-year, 7-year, 10-year CAGR, the difference on average will, you will make 29% CAGR, I will make 27%. That's it, right? My wealth at yours minus 2 percentage points when the absolute return will still be 27% for me. Why? Because the earnings growth for Asian Paints during that period on average would be 25, 27, 30%. Timing it here or there will add a couple of percent up or down. Broadly, you as well as I will get the earnings growth plus minus few percentage points, right? Now, let's assume instead of Asian Paints, we invest in, let me not take stock names here. Let's say we invest in Nifty 50, right? And we pick up the rock bottom as Mr. Gifted, you pick it up, and I invest on 1st of January in Nifty 50 or Sensex, right? To begin with, the volatility in Sensex and Nifty 50 on a 1-year basis will be much, much higher than Asian Paints. More important, absolute average annual return will be much, much lower. So to quantify, the outcome will be Mr. Gifted will probably make 13, 14% CAGR. Mr. Mortal will probably make 10, 11% CAGR. The gap might be a little more than 2 percentage points, but 10% versus 13% is a substantial difference in wealth creation, because I'm sure our lifestyle cost might be around 10%. So you are compounding better than your lifestyle cost. I am not, right? When it comes to 29 versus 27, 25 versus 23, 20 versus 18 even, I would say, it does not matter much, because the cost of, to begin with, this 2% gap that I theoretically showed you exists if you are genuinely Mr. Gifted every year over a 5, 7, 10-year time period, right? Which is unlikely to be the case. Even if you do that, right, the cost of staying in front of your TV screens, watching the market fall, rise, timing 52-week high, low, right? The transaction cost involved in, I would say, the psychological bandwidth, so on and so forth, right? It just doesn't make sense for that extra 2 percentage point, which actually is the best case scenario of being Mr. Gifted, just doesn't make sense, right? Obviously, if you do the same exercise on a 2-month return basis, if you say, I want to pick up the lowest 2-month point and you pick up the highest 2-month point, there will be a massive gap. I haven't quantified it, but there will obviously be a massive gap. But I don't think any of our clients, especially who are taking out time to attend this webinar, want to make return in a 2-month period, right? As long as you are trying to make return over a 3-year, 5-year, 7-year period, doesn't matter whether you catch the rock bottom during a calendar year or whether you don't. What matters is, did you get the earnings growth, which was healthy and consistent. If you did, you're home with a healthy wealth compounding. If you didn't, then nobody can help you, even if you can be the luckiest man on stock market timing.